and we are doing safe sighting for PSFSP 2.1. So this is my fire site. This is my back garden. So today we will be using a fire pit. As you can see, the priority for me with lighting fires is safety. So around the outside we have a 1 meter barrier here where you have the person who is leading the fire within this area when it is up and running, and then you can welcome and invite children into that area. Okay, you also have a 2 meter barrier that goes around the outside here, and if I had safe seating for children, that is the barrier that they would be sat, so they could still feel the heat from the fire. I have with me a set of safety aspects that we must have when we are doing fire lighting. I have my water bucket so that we can instantly put the fire out. I have my fire blanket as well, which would also be helpful just in case anybody did catch fire. I have a normal first aid kit, a burns first aid kit, and I have my gauntlet gloves. Now these gauntlet gloves need to be worn whenever lifting, poking, or using anything to do with your fire, because they are heat protected, so you will be very safe wearing those. And these are also some polyhot gloves, so when removing things like pasta in the pot, your hands will also be safe and protected. So to start our fire and look at building and developing our fire, we needed to have a range of wood so that we can build this safely together. Hi, my name's Karen Woolley and I'm going to demonstrate building and lighting of a fire for SFSP 2.1. Okay, so I'm going to do a layer fire, a hatch fire, but I'm going to start off by laying some of the bigger wood down on top so that we've got some air circulation, so we can draw some air circulation through it. Then I'm going to lay some nice dry kindling, which I'm going to sort of mix with a little bit of fire lighting. Cotton wool has just been wet by the rain, but I think it will light quite nicely. Then what we need to do is look at sort of different size elements of logs, different sizes. So we really need some nice dry little logs to be able to put on top. And you can go over in a hatched shape, because this is like a hatched fire, so you are putting things across here and you're starting to build and making that shape of a fire. There we go. Right. And then what we need to do is sort of build up the depth of the fire a little bit more there and put some bigger sticks on top of your fire, so that when the heat draws from underneath, it can start then to build the bigger logs on top. So this would be the start of my 5-minute fire that I would light with children. Hi, I'm Karen Woolley and it's part 2, and I'm going to be lighting my fire. So this is for PFSSP 2.1. So this is my flint and my steel, so I'm going to give this a go. Sometimes this doesn't work, but we're going to have a good go today. If not, we will use a match. There we go. So we have got a lit fire, and hopefully that fire now will travel through to the other side of my fire. You can do this gently by blowing, so it travels through the dry kindling that is at the bottom of your fire, and nature will take its course and it will travel over there. So just as my fire is starting to build, I'm just going to add a few more of the sticks that I have on the right hand side or left hand side of your film, and I'm going to use my gauntlet glove to do that, to make sure that my hand is safe from the fire. So I'm going to be building my fire a little bit further, and I'm very safe wearing these gloves because they are fire protected gloves. There we go. They can be quite strong as I build my fire here. One more here on the top. You can hear a little bit of sizzling because I think obviously because of the rain that we've just been through, some of the twigs are a little bit wet there. So as you can see, the fire has travelled through. So I'm going to put my gauntlet gloves down and move my flint and my matches back to the safety box over here because I won't be needing them anymore. So they are locked away nice and safe. So we're going to move this on a little bit more. We have got a tripod that we are going to put over the top of the fire here. And I'm going to use my gauntlet gloves just to make sure that I am very safe as we set up this next part.
Okay, that's fine.
There we go. So you can actually start to see the fire building from this side over here. There we are. Right. What's really nice is working with children that flames are really quite therapeutic as well. So it's nice for the children to sit and watch, even if they're 2 meters away, but you can invite the children into your safe zone so that they can help you. Hi, I'm Karen Woolley and this is part 3 of managing a fire safely and cooking on PSFFP 2.2. Okay, so as you can see, my fire has matured. I've still got my gauntlet gloves on here so I can do any alterations and put additional wood on there because we are going to be in a moment putting a pot of water to boil with some pasta in it. You need to make sure obviously that the area that you are in is safe, as we have explained previously. So as you can see, my fire is burning beautifully there. I've got my gauntlet gloves on, so if I want to add to it, just add a little bit of depth to my fire, I can use my fire gloves, my gauntlets, nice and safely there, just to keep the fire safe and keep it going. So in here I have got some water and some pasta. There we go, from there, and I'm going to be hooking it over the top on my tripod there. There we go. Right, so we just need to make sure that where we are, we're safe. We've still got with us our fire bucket here, our safety blanket, our first aid kits, but also the things that we would need for the children, because we need to make sure that whenever we're cooking that we are very hygienic with what we are doing, especially at the moment.
Okay, you're on.
Hi, I'm Karen Woolley and I am on part 3. I am boiling water here with some pasta in it. So you can see there, it's cooking really lovely. So I'm going to put that, it's going to be very hot, but over in the safe zone over there. So you can see that I have pasta in here and it's bubbling away. It's really, really cooking nicely over here. So what we need to be careful of when we are cooking over a stove, a little bit of smoke in my eye, is that we are keeping things like meat and vegetables carefully. I'm just going to move this log with my gauntlet glove on there, just to make sure that the fire stays underneath the pot that I'm boiling with my pasta, and just to keep everything separate and make sure that it's safe for children. So I'm literally just doing some pasta today as an example for you, but we could also cook over a fire. You could do pancakes, you could do Yorkshire puddings, you could do jacket potatoes, sweet corn, marshmallows on the end of sticks. So there's lots of possibilities that you could do with children, but actually even just lighting the fire and letting them be mesmerised by the fire is also fantastic opportunity for them. So it's bubbling away, so I'm going to hold the pot with my hand because of course I've got my gauntlet gloves on, which means that they are fire protected, and just stir my pasta because we still don't want to burn the food. It does get a little bit smoky, so sometimes you might need to just take a step back. And you need to also protect the children from the smoke as well, to know that they could move around the area of your 2 metre area, not near your food and safe and hygiene zone over here, but if the smoke blew in a certain direction, that they would be protected from that. Hi, I'm Karen Woolley and this must be at least part 5 of my cooking. So my pasta now is ready and it's been boiling away in my pan, and I have been stirring it using my gauntlet gloves, making sure it's all safe. So I've unhooked it from being over the fire. Obviously it's extremely hot, so we do need to be very careful with that, and that's why I have these protective gloves on. So very carefully I am going to drain my pasta over here, like so. Obviously, as you can see in the safe zone, we're away from where the children are. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to balance that back on the top there. So, put my wooden spoon down. At all times, I'm keeping an eye on my fire to make sure it's all safe. But I am going to serve a little pasta snack up in a nice clean bowl for my cameraman today. Hi, I'm Karen Woolley and this is PSFP 2.2. This is putting out your fire and returning the area to how it was when you very first arrived. So the important thing is obviously making sure if you had your children with you that they would still be outside the barrier, because it's still an extremely hot fire. So we have our red fire bucket here, and I have my fire jug. So I've also got a blanket that I could use to smother the flames, but we're going to use water today because we carried it all of this way. So moving it away, we are going to literally pour the water on the fire. Now it's a very hot fire, so the underside of the wood obviously is still steaming. So with another stick, I'm just going to move it around. We need to make sure that all areas of the fire have been put out safely. Okay, so what you might do, we might need to go and get a little bit more water and make sure that all aspects, you can hear the sizzling, so you can hear the fact that it is being put out now. There's just warm water on there. So if we were on the forest floor, this is where we would move around even more and make sure that we can move this charcoal and put it away so the forest will remain how it once was, how we found it. But we do need to make sure that it does stop steaming and that the area is safe before we leave it.